Okay, hello and shalom, friends. This is Mayim Vega. Welcome to the Arukah Holistic Life Academy podcast, where we explore holistic paths to wellness, transformation, and empowerment. And today we're thrilled to dive into financial wellness with our guest, Dr. Elisabetta Basilico. As a seasoned investment professional and passionate financial educator, Dr. Basilico empowers people, especially women, to achieve financial independence and stability through her signature program, Journey to Building Your Wealth Plan. She provides actionable insights for creating long term, sustainable wealth. So, if you are looking to align financial as well as holistic wellness, you are in the right place. Hello, Dr. Elisabetta. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
Excited.
it's very good. It's very important that women, especially, are empowered with the knowledge that they need to better themselves financially. And a lot of women, they come from backgrounds where they don't really grow up with this kind of knowledge. So I think it's very good and important that you do this for people. Now,
Yeah, thank
I know
no,
that
go
it's, sorry, I'm sorry.
ahead.
I know that it's nighttime where you are. Can you tell me where you are?
Yeah, so I'm based in Italy at the moment, and I live in between Milano and Como, so in the northern part of Italy. And yes, it's evening, late evening. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here, and because my mission is to empower as many women as possible to become financially literate, to improve their financial education, because, like you said, it's very important. And unfortunately, empirical evidence and research shows that on average, the financial literacy rate are low around the globe, but especially for women. Women lag men by an average of 10% across the globe. So, and it's interesting that at the same time, there is research that shows that when women invest or run businesses, but especially in finance, they perform better than their male peers. So, when they have the knowledge, they're better investor, they're better at finance. The problem is to get them there with the knowledge. So that's what my mission is to share as much as possible financial education so that more women can be empowered.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Very interesting statistic there. So you have a presentation for us. I'm very
Yes.
eager to learn.
Yes. So I'm gonna share. Can you see it now?
Yes, it's there, the basics of financial literacy.
Exactly. So I'm gonna, share a little bit about what we are gonna talk about in this presentation. I'm gonna talk to you about the importance of financial literacy. Uh, everything that I'm gonna share is backed by research, and we're gonna touch upon the main pillar of financial literacy as well, and a little bit about what it means to, be able to build wealth, and especially generational wealth. So wealth that is used by us, but also for example, for our children. So I'm just going to give a brief introduction, and then we'll dive into the presentation. So I'm Elisabetta, I have a PhD in Business Administration and Finance from the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland. I also have the CFA, which is a very prestigious certification in my field, the Charter Financial Analyst. I'm a published author of multiple articles and blogs on personal finance and investing. At some point, I actually calculated that I studied over 30,000 hours this topic. I worked in the US. I started off my career for a pension fund in corporate America, but then I realized that I wanted more time and location freedom. So I made myself a consultant and advisor. But because I have an academic background, my true passion is education. And so what I do today is a mix of, yes, I continue to consult on advisory on investing and wealth management, but I try to spend a lot of time educating people, especially women, trying to democratize the basic concept of finance and investing, basically, because I have a very true passion, so I write, I talk, I do podcasts, trying to spread as much as possible the basics that are needed to become financially stable. And as I said, of course, I'm passionate. So, I will say financial literacy is very important, and it's very well worth the time, to invest the time to learn the basics. But it's not just me saying, there's actually research that backs this. And what I have on the slide to the right is a picture of a very important paper that was published in a prominent academic journal. It's basically a paper that is based on 76 experiments that involve 160,000 people in 33 countries, 6 continents. So it's really a massive research work. And it says that not only financial literacy is important, but it actually works in changing people's life. And generally, a good understanding of general financial principle is the bedrock for many major financial tasks in life. And so, because sometimes people ask me, why shall I be financially literate? Well, it's very important, for example, to know what inflation is, because inflation affects a household budget choices. It's also very important to know what interest rates are and how they affect mortgages, because the majority of people have mortgages that they opened up to buy their homes. Compound interest in particular is a concept that we're going to touch and on it today, because I think it's really extremely important to understand this concept to build generational wealth. And it's useful to know how it works to properly build for retirement, for example, as well as risk diversification, which is a key concept on investing. So, these are the pillars of financial literacy. And here you see why should you know it, because they affect your life and the way, you can improve your lifestyle. There is a questionnaire that is backed by research. And, I know, ma'am, that you are going to share the link so that people can self-assess. This is a very important starting point that I highly recommend and empower whoever is listening to take. It's really started off with three big questions, and then they became 5 that they were developed by 2 women, Anna Maria Lusardi and Olivia Mitchell. They're out of Stanford, and they founded the Global Financial Literacy Excellence Center. And they're questions that test your knowledge around compound interest, inflation, risk diversification, mortgages, interest rate, and bond prices, which are defined as the 5 pillars of financial literacy. If you take this test and, for example, you get 4 out of 5 questions, you can consider yourself, at having a good starting point. But if you answer 3 or less, it means that you need to, spend time, invest your time, making yourself more knowledge around these concepts. Because if you're not, so we talked about the benefits of becoming financially literate, but if you're not financially literate, there can be serious consequence. You're probably going to be more likely to undersave, to have more debt that is necessarily, or at least to have debt that is not efficiently built, to experience higher financial stress, and to have meager future investment returns, so that if you do that, you're not prepared properly for your retirement. And as I want to conclude by saying that the OECD, which is an international organization, declared recently that financial literacy is a core life skill. Unfortunately, it's still not taught in schools. And that is why we have so low financial literacy rates around the globe. To summarize, so become financially literate because you will be able to save more, to be less financially fragile, to manage your debt efficiently, build a solid retirement, create generational wealth. I already touched on this. The financial literacy rate around the globe are low. Overall, it's found that 30% of people, they're financially literate. In the US, it's 30%. Women are less financially literate than men. So for females in the US, it's 20%. It means that only 1 in 5 women is financially literate. Canada is a little bit better, coming out at 48 overall with female at 39. Europe is also not great because we have an average of 26%, with Spain at the lowest end, 19%, and the Netherlands at the highest rate.
Those
These
are
are the 5
very interesting statistics.
Yeah, very interesting.
I'm surprised to see Canada so high.
Yeah. I don't have the answer. My guess is that they do better at school. There's probably at least a minimum some teaching at school in the school system. In the Netherlands, probably is such because the school system is more, it's not that it's more advanced, it's just more modern. Financial financial literacy is as important, if not more important, than math or any other subject that we are taught in school. Because, I'll show you in a second
I
how.
would say that financial literacy should be a critical component of mathematics. I mean, what's the goal of mathematics if it's at least partly not to help your own life, right?
Yeah, you made a great point. The problem is that the schools keep everything so abstract and not, at least in Europe for sure. In the US is a little better. The school system is such that there's a little bit more practical tools that are shared, because I studied both in Italy and in the US, and I've seen the differences. I can guarantee that in Southern Europe, school is a lot around notions and theory, but very little practical tools. What better practical example is financial literacy to be used from, you learn math and then you put it in practice with, teaching the kids how to manage money. Unfortunately, we are far away from reaching this goal. The good news is that the 2 women that I just shared, the 2 academics, the 2 women that started that excellence center based at Stanford, they're doing a tremendous work on trying to prove with research that there is a strong link between knowing the basics and doing better at life, managing debt, managing a budget, managing planning for retirement. And the idea is to show the governments that they need to implement these programs in school at an early age, because kids, obviously, you can teach the subject at different levels like you do for any subject. But you can start at the elementary school. I am starting, I have a 5.5 years old kid, and I am already starting to teach him little, little by little, about the importance of money, the importance of saving, investing, giving. There are ways that you can do it. I'm actually working on a book for the age from 3 to 6, little storytelling book to introduce the first elements of financial literacy, because I truly believe that it can change our future. These are the 5, as I mentioned, these are the 5 pillars. Some are easier than others, some are more difficult, some are more important than others, in my opinion. So I thought that definitely I want to spend some time showing you this concept and giving you some practical example, which is compound interest. And I say it's a kind of magic because if used properly to your favor, it can help your money make you money and accumulate wealth for your retirement and your kids' future. First of all, as a general introduction, interest rates are the cost of money. They can work towards your favor when you essentially are lending money to the bank by opening a savings account or an investing account, or they can be against your favor, or I should say a cost when you're borrowing from the bank. So interest rate is an important concept both for your savings and for your the debt that you may have when you open a loan, when you open a mortgage. So it's important to understand, this distinction. They go up and down. They're set by central banks, and the central banks set them, the level of the interest rate, based on the status of the economy. They're expressed as a percentage, and the interest rate that you get from the bank when you open a savings account is lower than the interest rate that you pay to the bank when you borrow from them. Now,
Can I ask a question about that? So these interest rates, there's different I know that they set them, at least here in America, for mortgages. Do they set them for other things as well? Do they set them for everything, or what's the limit? What's their scope?
So the interest rate levels are they're decided. There's short-term interest rate, there's long-term interest rate. Short-term interest rate are what the central bank sets, and they're set to keep the economy in balance. For example, when there is inflation, so the price start to increase, and because typically the economy is booming, price increases. The central bank, which in the United States is called the Federal Reserve, starts to increase interest rate to cool down the economy and inflation. Vice versa, when there is a fear of recession, they decrease interest rates so that people start engaging more in loans and credit and spend more. Now, as I said, interest rates are important both for when you deposit money to the bank and open, for example, a savings account. So in essence, you're lending money to the bank. The bank can use the money that you deposit on a savings account, and in exchange, it gives you a positive interest rate because you make money off of that deposit. But you can also pay an interest rate when you open a mortgage. In that case, it's sort of like it's a cost. You're giving money to the bank because they lend you money. So they can both work either way. Obviously, when we talk about compound interest, we are focusing on the positive side. So you're taking the money that you're able to save every month. You open, for example, a savings account with the bank. The bank pays you an interest rate. So the concept of compound interest is important because instead of keeping your money under the mattress, you are depositing it in an in a savings account, and you're getting interest. The longer you leave that money with the bank that pays you an interest, the better, because after one period, your money becomes bigger and you keep earning money on a bigger amount. And I always use this analogy. It's like the yeast effect on dough, or the effect of the snowball turning into an avalanche. The mechanics of compound interest is such that with time, you're earning interest on interest on interest on interest, and that skyrockets your money, especially if you are investing. Obviously, the highest the interest rate that you're earning, the better. when you open a saving account, your interest rate is only linked to the level of the interest rate at the moment. So if interest rates are rising, then you're making more on your savings. But if interest rates are low, you don't make much. So when interest rates are low, it's better to start investing, for example, in the stock market to accelerate the process through which you're going to create generational wealth. And I'll explain this in a second with concrete examples. So the top, so you see a lot of numbers here. And the purpose of this example is to show you the difference of just saving and keeping the money not in a saving account, not invested, so to speak, under the mattress, which is not something that you should do. And the same savings that that you're able to set aside every month invested. So the first example says, okay, perhaps if you're able to save $1 a day, you accumulate $30 a month. And here, sorry, with the premise that I'm thinking about a 65 years investment horizon or saving horizon. So for example, if you have a newborn, this is a good example of what that newborn can accumulate through a life until he reaches retirement. So typically you retire at 65. So the top number is just I'm saving and I put it in a piggy bank or under the bank, under the mattress. $1 a day, it will give you 23,000, a little over 23,000 by retirement. So 65 years after. $3 a day, which is $90 a month, can get you to 71,000 by retirement. If you're able to save $10 a day, $300 a month, you will accumulate by retirement for year 65 a little over $237,000. But if you take the same savings and you invest it, and here I'm saying invest in an index of global stocks, which means that you're, and I know that I'm running a little bit here, but the purpose of this slide is to truly show you the power of investing. And here I'm hypothesizing that you're investing in a global index of stocks, which is made up of over 3,000 stocks. So yes, you're investing in the stock market, but it's risk control because it's a very diversified basket of stocks, which currently is projected to earn on average 8% every year. And it's a pretty conservative estimate. That same $1 a day that you saved that made up $30 a month, if you take that $30 a month, every month you invested in this investment vehicles that represent over 3,000 stocks, public stocks across the globe, it could get you to almost 800,000 by retirement. So you see the difference. If you don't invest it, you accumulate 23,000. If you invest it, you can get $800,000. $5 a day, which would give you a little, about $118,000. If you invest it, you can get almost 4 million by retirement. So this, I think it's hopefully a powerful message to tell you, saving is good, but just don't keep the saving in an account that doesn't earn you interest. And better try to invest it. So again, obviously, you need to educate yourself. We cover some today. I have coaching containers that I do. There is resources on the web. But the point is, it's very important to educate yourself because investing can be powerful for building and growing your wealth. This it's not showing, I think. The picture are not showing for some reason. I had a couple of other examples, but perhaps I'll see if later I can show it to you in another way. But let's keep going. So I wanted to also give you a practical sort of tip. I said that when you are investing in the stock market, and this is linked to a pillar of financial literacy that's called risk diversification. It's better not to invest in a single stock, not even in two or three. You need to spread your money into a diversified basket of stocks, which are businesses, because the general saying, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, is especially true in investing. So it's very important to diversify your investments. And there are investment vehicles that are called index funds or exchange traded funds, ETFs, that you can use, and you can invest your money in indices that replicate the world. A good one is this one. It's called the MSCI ACWI, Equi Investable Market Index. This is an index that replicates stocks that are traded on exchanges in 47 markets, of which 23 are developed markets and 24 emerging markets, and it represents 99% of the investable global equity market. So if you're investing in an index like this, you're putting your money in over 3,000 stocks. So you're very well diversified. Yes, the stock market goes up and down, but it's an upward trend. So if you put your money into this index, you're reasonably safe that yes, in the short term you may see some negative numbers because occasionally the market gets turbulent, but over time, over 5, 10 years, 20 years, you're gonna see return. And on average, this global basket of stock is projected to earn an 8% yearly return, which is pretty good. Another important pillar when we're talking about financial literacy is mortgages, because people do have mortgages because when they buy their home, they typically finance part of it. And as I was saying, I don't know if I have something here. Well, no, I'm just gonna say a couple of words here. Interest rate work against you when you're opening mortgages because it's a cost. So while you're searching for the highest possible interest rate or return when you invest your money, when you're looking for mortgages, you want to search for the lowest interest rate. And also, while you are investing, the longer time you stay invested, the better, because compound interest will work towards helping you. With mortgages, the longer the mortgage, the higher the total cost of interest that you're going to pay. I know this all may sound intense, but I do have a free web class on the 5 pillars of financial literacy where I talk this in more details. And I know that you will see my website. If you go there, you can just sign up to watch the free web class, which will give a lot more information than what I'm able to cover today. I've touched a little bit on the basics of financial literacy. When you are on a journey to build wealth, generational wealth, to plan for retirement, you need to understand that income is not a good measure of your financial stability. Net worth is. And net worth is the difference between your assets and your liabilities. Obviously, to increase your net worth, you need to increase your assets, and you can increase your assets, and the lower your liabilities, the better. But one important thing to remember, income is not a good measure of your financial stability, because I've seen people that have high income, but if they overspend, then they're not able to build their net worth. This is a slide that I like to share when I do these lectures, and I say, if your net worth, so if your the difference between your assets and your liabilities is less than $100,000, euros, or whatever currency you have in your country, I highly recommend that you do these steps. And if you do these steps, first of all, you're going to be ahead of 99% of people because the majority don't pay attention to these things, and it will set you to a trajectory where you will be able to start building your net worth. The very, very first important thing to do is to create and use a budget. And again, I'll touch a little bit on this in a second. You want to pay off what I define bad debt. Bad debt is debt that has an interest rate greater than 7%. Typically, credit card debt has a high interest rate. The higher the interest rate, the sooner you want to pay off the debt because you're paying too much. The cost of the interest rate that you're paying outweighs the benefits of what you purchased. Obviously, to increase your net worth, one lever that you have is to try and increase your income. This may sound obvious, but live on less than you make. And if you develop a budget, whether it's with an Excel spreadsheet, with an app, or on a piece of paper, you will gain awareness of the money that's coming in, where it's going. And oftentimes that's very important to become aware, because you may have some haha moment and say, oh, I didn't realize that I was spending this much on this category that maybe is not very important to me, and I want to redirect it, or I want to save more. If you're an employee, it's very important to match to, put some of your paycheck into 401k, which are pension vehicles, because oftentimes companies will match what you put into this integrative pension. And that's free money that if you don't do that, you may leave on the table. Save regularly. Once you are able to save, you start creating an emergency fund, which is a fund where you keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and finally you start investing. So you need to go through this process to get to savings and then investing. Again, believe me, the majority of the people don't go through this. If you actually put your head in time, you will be ahead of 99% of people, and you will start seeing results. You will start seeing your accounts, your wealth accounts increase. In your wealth journey, so we talked about 5 pillars of financial literacy. That's the basic knowledge that you need to have. Once you have that, you start building your journey to wealth, to building your wealth. And here we have 4 pillars: the spending plan, the income plan, the saving plan, the investing plan. I'm going to touch on the spending plan, which is the one related to the budget. The budget is taking accountability of your net income and the expenses, where that net income goes. General theory says that 50% of your net income should go to the necessities, so things that you really need to live. 30% should go to your wants, and at least 20% should go towards your saving. This, if you're able to save at least 20% every month, every year, and invest it, you are really ahead of a big chunk of people in the world, because savings rates are very low. I personally aim and suggest that you do 50% necessity, 20% wants. The wants are, going out to dinner, going to the movies, paid entertainment, and try, at least in the early years, to save 30% of your net income. Do not spend more than what you make, especially on your wants. Do not use, and worse, max out your credit card on wants, because credit cards have high interest rates that will eat your wealth. And pay your credit card in full so that you do not accumulate consumer debt. And sorry, these are not showing up. These were, I had some screenshot out of my Instagram page, because on my Instagram page, which is at The Wealth Mama, I do a lot of educational content with visuals that are easy to digest and learn. I think that in this page I was showing that the average American saves 3.6%, which is very low because at the minimum you should strive to save 20%. There's also other staggering statistics that say that 49% of Americans don't have $1,000 in an emergency fund. They don't even have that, which is, because emergencies do come up. You may lose your job or your car may break and you need extra money. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, then it becomes a problem. The other pillar of the journey to your building your wealth is the income plan, because remember, net worth is the difference between assets and liabilities. We just talked about, trying to be aware of the expenses that you have. The other lever that you have is to increase your income, because in this current society, one of the biggest risks is living on one income. Ideas to increase your income is, first of all, try to develop skills, and that way you can advance your career. You can ask for a promotion, for example, if you develop new skills. You can start a side hustle, you can invest wisely, or you can start a business. These are ways that you can, think about to increase your income. And here I want to touch a little bit because I think that we are in the midst of a shift, of a paradigm on how business is done, on how selling is done, of how marketing is done. And to me, these are staggering statistics that, again, the majority of the people don't pay attention. For example, the e-commerce is projected to reach we are already in 2024, but 6.5 trillion. Online education is expected to grow by 350 billion by 2025 as more people turn to digital courses. So if you have a specific skill, if you can teach something, look into that. Health and wellness. There is a rapidly growing niche of consumers becoming more focused on physical and mental well-being. And it's, the coaching system, the online coaching is also becoming more and more popular, where people seek advice and suggestion online. Freelancing and remote work services. With more companies adopting remote work, the demand for freelance is increasing. So these are all things that you should be aware of. 81% of brands use affiliate marketing. They use normal people, not influencer, normal people, to boost brand awareness and drive sales. You don't need to be an influencer. You can go through different favorite websites of brands you like and see if they have an affiliate program and perhaps start working with them. So these are just ideas, but think about ways where you can increase your income. The saving plan, I already touched a little bit on this. Americans save on average 3.6% of their disposable income, which is way low, and 36% of US adults have more credit card debt than emergency savings. And it's the highest number since 2018. This is not good. 22% of US adults don't have an emergency fund, and 49% of Americans do not have at least 1,000 in an emergency fund. And these are very alarming. If you are in this situation, go back to the slides where I say what you should do, start building awareness around your budget, start figuring out where you can cut your expenses so that you can start saving and investing in building your wealth. First, the emergency fund and the wealth. The way to increase your savings is to develop habits around them. I'm big on habits. I love this quote. First, it's an intention. And I think that if you're here today and are watching this class, this is your intention that you want to improve your financial education, your financial literacy, because ultimately you want to improve your financial stability. Then after the intention, you need to start developing a behavior. So take what you learn and start to behaving differently with the suggestion that, for example, I share today. If you start behaving differently, little by little, you will build a habit. The habit becomes a practice, then a second nature, and then it's simply who you are. I've just shared some picture of tools that you can use. These are paper tools, like you can build savings trackers. These are just example, and I'm happy to share if you reach out to me. This is a saving, it's a big jar, and you can have a weekly goal, a monthly goal, a yearly goal, and you put with your pencil um, savings that you can start by giving up something, giving up, a coffee here and there, or a lunch outside, lunch out uh, when you're dining out, or going to a movie, or perhaps canceling the subscription that you signed up for but you're not using. So, or another way, the second tracker is like, saving $1 a day. Just start small. You don't have to, you don't need to save a lot. You just have to start. I think that anybody can save $1 a day, and that's $30 a month. And I've shown you in the prior slide the power of just saving $1 per day. Finally, I always am asked this question, what should I invest in? And obviously, it's not an easy question to answer because it depends on your return objective, which is linked to your risk tolerance and which is also linked to your age, aka investment horizon. Obviously, if you are young compared to if you are an adult, the answer is different. For example, for my son, who is 5.5, and I started investing for him by opening an account as soon as he was born. And me and my husband have a goal of saving for his investment account at least $100 per month. And we deposit also any monetary gift that he receives. I tell my parents, my family, his uncle, yes, give him a small gift for his birthday and his Christmas, and for Christmas or any other holiday. It's sufficient, a small gift. The rest, just give me the money, and it's a monetary gift that I will invest for his future retirement. But because he's young and he has 65 years as an investment horizon till retirement, he's currently invested 100% in equities, in global equities. Now, if you are an adult, it depends on your age, but as you age, the investment portfolio needs to become a little more diversified. So yes, a portion will go to global stocks, but you will also have some bonds, you will have some other asset classes, perhaps some commodities. So it's hard to answer in general terms. It's on a case-by-case basis, but again, with a little bit of financial education, it's not difficult. You can also have a financial advisor. I like to say, even if you get a financial advisor, don't fully delegate decision to them. Be at the minimum financially literate and financially educated so that you can show him that you're on top of things, so that he knows that he needs to do things the right way for you. Here I'm just gonna show some of the stuff that I do. I have a free newsletter, and if you sign up to watch my web class on my website, there's also a link to sign up for my newsletter. And typically, if someone watches my web class, it's automatically enrolled. I have an Instagram page at Wild Mama where I share a lot of free financial education. For those who may want to, take a class, a more robust, more advanced class, I have a coaching container that's made up of 4 sessions where I do a deep dive in the spending plan, the income plan, the saving plan, the investing plan. And I also do one-on-one private coaching containers. And I've currently have an offer where my coaching container is heavily discounted. So it's a good time to take advantage of that. Thank you for being here. I hope that I've been useful. Here you see all my contact information. Again, at the minimum, I recommend that you follow me on the Wealth Mama because I share a lot for free education so that, my mission is to raise financial literacy rates around the globe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very informative. Great reminders for people who know and for people who don't know. These are very important things to learn. And really, even though this is very in-depth, it's not enough. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we've hoped that you've truly enjoyed this enlightening conversation with Dr. Elisabetta Basilico and how financial wellness is an integral part of our holistic health journey. Holistic success isn't just about your health, but also your wealth, your relationships, and your personal and spiritual. There's 4 pillars, I believe, to holistic success in life, and wealth is certainly one of them. We shouldn't shy away from being financially literate and being wise with our money, etc. And these are, I believe that our money is our gifts, that God has given us, so that we have to make sure that we invest wisely and save and put it in the right places so that it will be good not only for us today, but also for our children. And as we've learned, building wealth is not just about numbers, but it's about a mindset and intentional planning and creating a balanced, sustainable future for ourselves and also for our children. So I encourage everyone to take the next step in your financial journey by connecting with Dr. Basilico through her resources, her free website, her coaching and programs and whatnot. And remember, financial wellness, just like physical wellness, is within your control.
Exactly.
So if you're ready to take charge of your holistic health and wellness, don't forget to check that out. And also check out for holistic health, check out our website at arukah.com. And just remember to stay focused and achieve balance in every aspect of your life. So I wish you all prosperity, health, and peace until next time. And Dr. Basilico, do you have just, if you could maybe stop sharing your screen and just give like one last final closing thought?
Yeah, so my hope, again, is that I have empowered you to invest a little bit of your time in becoming financially literate and educate yourself financially, because as Mayim said, it's in our control. There's also the statistics that I find mind-blowing too, that, and probably I sometimes also fall into these statistics, that it's easy to get, with the technology that we have today, is waste time. For example, on social media, and the average people spend 2 hours just scrolling. If you're just scrolling, you're not learning anything. And so take that time and invest it to become financially literate for, my purpose, but probably, as you said, invest it for your holistic wellness journey, of which becoming financially stable is part of it, but there's so many facets. So learning is really the best gift that you can give yourself, I think.
Absolutely. Education knowledge is the key to financial wealth. It's also the key to holistic health. And
Exactly.
you need knowledge, but you also need money to be healthy, to eat right,
Exactly.
to buy the supplements and the herbs, all the natural things that you need. Even if it's prescription drugs, you need money for that. And prescription drugs aren't going to be enough. Really to be healthy, you need to eat correctly, and that takes money. So invest in yourself and don't shy away from the topic of money. I know a lot of people, they don't want to seem very like egotistical And so they feel like by avoiding the topic of money, it makes them virtuous or something like that. But actually, the very opposite is
No, and
true.
like you said, we need money to eat healthy, to take care of ourselves, of our family, to be well in general, to travel, to see the world, to have fun with our family. So to give back to people that are in need. So I think that yeah, there is this um, it's a cultural thing. Money is a taboo topic, but and it's part of it is because also it's not taught in school. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because of course as parents we can teach our kids, but if we're not, we didn't learn it from somewhere, how can we teach it to the kids even if school doesn't teach it?
Right.
So that's why, I think important. I target women because obviously it's mainly women that transmit education at home, I think, to kids. And so that's why it's important. It's a shame that women are even less financially literate than men.
It is. But
It's unacceptable. It's
it's
unacceptable. Yeah.
unacceptable, absolutely. But it's also very surprising that first statistic that you said that when women are financially literate, they do better than men
Oh yeah,
statistically.
there is tons of research. I studied it, and there's published paper that show that um, when women invest, when women in any area, stocks, even venture capital, so when they run business, very few women that get to the top of companies that have women as CEOs or other, role in other roles in the C-suites, they outperform companies that are run by men. Um, and for example, in investment is because, for example, women are a little more risk averse, so they they invest better, they diversify more, and if you diversify, you do better over time. They also trade less, they keep companies longer, and that's also virtual for investment results. So I can see the link. It's just unfortunate that also culturally, girls pursue subjects that are less, they're like the STEM subjects. It's shown, in different varieties of STEM subject. Women, females are less present, and it's all cultural because they tend there we grow up with the idea that certain things we cannot do, which is BS. So
Also, I wanted to say that not to expect that our college system and our primary and secondary school systems don't expect that they are the ones that should have trained you in this and that everything that you need to know you've already learned if you went to high school or college. Because they will serve themselves and in the primary school they're serving the government primarily, and the government doesn't necessarily benefit from having a population that is financially literate. Oftentimes, they want a working class, a class that is always struggling, a class that doesn't um, have emergency money, because then they're more dependent on the government services. It gives the government more control. And so I believe this is why we are so financially illiterate, even though we don't have to be. I mean, with technology and in our day and age and all the resources available, we don't have to be financially illiterate. But I think we tend to trust too much a lot of the institutions that we are a part of and that we put our children through. And which is why usually it's often just the rich that give their children this kind of education and give them such a good head start, which is why what Dr. Elisabetta is doing is so important. This is can really elevate the poorer classes in every single country, because finances and economy are basic math that we're not taught, even though it's so basic. But this is the kind of basic education
Oh,
that can really
absolutely.
elevate humanity.
It's interesting. The final thought, that paper that I shared earlier, that research, it shows that financial literacy can lift people out of poverty. And the resources are available now because we live in an age where, there's tons of free resources also. So, it's in your control. With a little effort, you can self-educate yourself. So yeah, I don't want to say that send the message that you need to go to school. It would be nice if at the elementary level, middle school, the mandatory levels, it was taught because, it would be easier. But if you didn't receive that type of education, just, put your head into it and you will learn the basics that will help you get out of poverty if you are in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was looking for your Instagram because there's a few people with your name. So this is the right one right here.
Yes,
And her handle is Wealth Mama on Instagram.
yes.
So if you're going to spend 2 hours scrolling on social media, you should
Mhm.
scroll on this page right
Yeah.
here. Okay, so that you can at least gain some knowledge
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
for your
Thank you.
financial future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, Elisabetta. Thank you
You're welcome.
for
You're
everything you
welcome.
do.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Algar and I am the host of Expertise TV, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to our guest today, Mayim Vega. Now, Mayim Vega is a former NASA computer scientist turned holistic healer after facing a very personal health crisis, which the modern medical system could not resolve. In 2009, she founded Arukah.com, which offers an holistic healer certification program focusing on 3 pillars: naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing to empower people to become holistic healers and achieve maximum impact in the world. Mayim combines her scientific background, natural healing methods, and faith in the creator and great physician to guide others on a path to personal and professional well-being. Mayim, it's clear that you are very passionate about the topic of holistic health and particularly helping people who are wanting to transition into this approach. How did you find yourself in this line of work, and why is this work so important to you?
Thank you, Ashley, for taking the time to speak with me. And I'd love to answer that question. So, the way I found myself in this line of work starts with my story of when I transitioned from becoming a computer scientist at the NASA Ames Research Center to becoming an entrepreneur and building my first online business in digital marketing. And the reason why I did that is so that I could stay at home and be with my newly born son at the time. And now I have 7 children of my own, and always wanted to homeschool them and just be there for them. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. But my first few years as an entrepreneur was extremely difficult. And I thought it was healthy, but later on, after all my studies, I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not very healthy. They were not very healthy habits that I had. And what ended up happening was I got really sick and I thought I was on my deathbed. And I was rushed to the emergency room. And the doctor actually thought that I had a brain tumor. But after extensive testing and examination, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I was experiencing a lot of pain, but they had nothing for me. There was nothing they could do for me. She said that she could give me some really strong painkillers, but that's really it. She couldn't really get rid of the problem. And so I took the painkillers, but again, painkillers and any pharmaceutical drug never address the root cause of illness and disease. And that's exactly why this line of work is so important to me and why I went on my own personal journey to become a holistic healer, to study nutrition, herbalism, holistic health, and holistic life coaching is because we all know people, and maybe probably even ourselves, who, just like me, went to the modern medical system because that's the expected thing to do. That's the normal thing to do. And, tried to get health and healing that way, but hit a dead end, hit a brick wall, and we either got medications that didn't work or that only worked for a while, or that caused side effects that were so terrible that we had to get on other medications, plural, and maybe even the medication or medications caused side effects that caused other health issues. And sometimes the health issues are worse than the first problem that you originally had. And we're on this ridiculous roller coaster of drug after treatment after procedure, because the modern medical system never addresses the root cause. And medical professionals who have woken up know this. And that's why I have medical professionals in my program, including, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical technicians, etc., who are learning from me, who are, taking the certification program because they realize that our system is broken and we need to fix it. It is our destiny as humanity to overcome all this nonsense, really. We can do better and we will do better. I know it. And that's why, in my certification program, sometimes I joke around. No, it's not really a joke, but I say, I'm empowering not just holistic healers, but holistic warriors. We're in a battle. We're in a battle over our own health and healing to safeguard and protect that, and that of our families and friends and community, of course, as well. And we're also in a battle against very powerful people who, because of profits, like to suppress holistic health and healing truths to keep us just sick enough so that we need something, pharmaceuticals, but not well enough to ever get off them. That is truly the goal of big pharma, of the pharmaceutical industry. It's not true. They don't want to heal us. They don't want to cure us. They want to keep us just sick enough so that we keep giving them our money. And you know what? Me personally, I have better things to spend with my money, like on good food, clean herbs, things that don't cause these ridiculous side effects that we experience with pharmaceutical drugs.
Thank you, Mayim. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the key benefits of transitioning from the conventional healing approach to a holistic approach in health and healing?
Okay, so that's another really great and important question. The key benefits of transitioning from conventional healing to a holistic approach are, right now, I can think of three main reasons. Number one, the holistic approach is safer. Number two, the holistic approach is more effective. And number three, the holistic approach is the true approach that gets to the root cause. Okay. Now, I'd like to illustrate the first point, the safety of holistic medicine. If someone who was taking some, let's say blood pressure medication or something like that, visited me at my house, let's say I invited them over for dinner, and let's say they had to take some of their medicine and they dropped one of their pills, right, in my dining room or in my living room floor. Now, I have very small children. I have a 4-year-old. And what if my 4-year-old found that pill on the floor and thought it was candy or something like that and put it in her mouth and ate it? What would happen? I would immediately have to call the poison control center to get that pill out of her system, because those pills can have deadly side effects. But what if someone dropped a vitamin C pill or a tincture, you know, and one of my children found it. For the most part, if they found it and took it, they might have a little diarrhea. It might be really spicy on their tongue, and so they would stop taking it. But no, I wouldn't have to control the poison control center, because vitamins and herbs and minerals are extremely, like 1,000 times safer than pharmaceutical drugs. There's a few types of, supplements that you might have to call the poison control center, but for the most part, no, you won't have to do that because our body knows how to work with those substances. It is not a drug. It is a healing tool. Okay. So completely safe. Also, exercise, diet, those are all safe, right? Sleep, those are all part of holistic health and healing. Completely safe, zero side effects. Now, let's talk about the effectiveness. The holistic approach is more effective. And the reason why we know this is because in my practice, and this is the experience of many holistic healers, when it comes to the conventional ways with the pharmaceutical drugs, as I said before, they don't deal with the root cause. They just mask symptoms. So, you might take a cough suppressant, let's say, for example, but if you are not dealing with the root cause, why are you coughing in the first place? Why do you have allergies? Why do you have the flu, etc.? Why is your immune system not strong enough to overcome this in just a few hours or just a day or two overnight? Why? Because you have not built up your immune system. You haven't boosted it or lived the kind of life that you need to in order to avoid those common illnesses altogether. I have one of my students is a medical doctor, and she said that she used to take anti-allergy drugs every single week because of her allergies. The allergy drugs don't boost your immune system; they just suppress it. They just oppress your allergy symptoms. But when you have allergy symptoms, it's your body talking to you and telling you, hey, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this thing that you're eating or this environment that you've just stepped into because of my state of being. I'm not strong enough. That's what your immune system is saying to you. But I taught her a really powerful vitamin protocol that actually boosts your immune system so that your immune system is strong enough to overcome allergies. And so that's the difference. It is effective because it is true. It is true holistic health and healing because it strengthens your immune system. It doesn't silence it, like I said before. And the third issue is the root cause. Holistic health and healing deals with the root cause, and the conventional approach of drugs and surgery, etc., does not. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't need surgery, for example, or in an emergency situation need a drug, but you're not dealing with the root cause. And if you deal with the root cause, you can make your problems either go away or become extremely minimal, safely, effectively, and naturally without poisoning your body and causing the roller coaster of side effects.
Mayim, you have developed an incredible program that you've already mentioned called the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, which you have specifically created for those looking to either transition into the holistic approach or for those who are wanting to grow in their knowledge and practice. Can you talk us through what differentiates this program from other similar programs that are currently out there?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, the certification program at arukah.com is really, truly incredible. And there's a few things that set it apart, actually, many things, but I'd like to focus on a few. And one of them is that when I designed the program, I designed it for someone who was in my situation many years ago, someone who was a busy mom who had a lot of work to do and a lot of things on her plate, but still wanted to empower herself with the knowledge of holistic health and healing for herself, for her family, so she could take care of her family, and maybe even build a career where, very specifically, she could stay at home and, just like me, be a stay-at-home mom. And even a homeschool mom. I've been a homeschool mom. My oldest is 20 now, and I homeschooled him the whole way. And he's already graduated college, and he's got a computer science degree, and he's an entrepreneur himself. I instilled that dream in him. So being able to, I was able to surpass my income at NASA, and still homeschool my children. It's pretty awesome achievement. And so I wanted to empower people in my program to do exactly the same as I've done, to become a holistic healer, to have a successful online business, so that they can have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. Meaning that there's no glass ceiling. No one who you need to get a raise from. You just have to help people. That's how I get paid, is when I help people, right? And so that's one of the advantages. Another advantage is it's very hands-on and apprenticeship based. And you could go to a college to study to become a naturopathic doctor, or another holistic professional like a chiropractor. But it's going to take a lot more money, and a lot more time as well. This program can be completed in 1 year, but because all of my students pretty much are busy professionals already, or busy moms. It's self-paced. So if you have a lot of things on your plate, it's okay. It's still going to be there for you. There's not like a time limit. You're not going to, your grade's not going to be lowered because you submit an assignment late or anything like that. It's self-paced. And so I've designed it for the busy mom, or the working woman. And another thing that sets it apart is we have three core pillars in our program. One is that our students study naturopathic herbalism. And that takes up the bulk of our program. And naturopathic herbalism includes studying the foundations of holistic health and healing, identifying toxins and detoxification, also nutrition and orthomolecular nutrition, or megadose vitamin therapy, as well as herbalism, which includes also homeopathy and aromatherapy with essential oils. And also they study Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. But it's mostly focused on Western medicine, Western herbalism, excuse me. And then the next core pillar, the second one, is holistic life coaching. And the reason why holistic life coaching is part of the program is to incorporate the mind spirit aspect of it, right? If herbs and supplements are the alternative to pharmaceutical drugs, well, holistic life coaching is like the holistic alternative to psychiatry. It deals with the mind and the spirit, and spirit has to be part of it because we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings. We're also spiritual beings. Now, a lot of holistic health and healing schools are based on, different religions, New Age, or, other pagan religions. And this program, because I'm Jewish, is based on the Creator. It's based on the Bible and biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles. And so therefore I have a lot of people who are of that faith persuasion, Jews, Christians, or people who maybe, they don't really identify as Jewish or Christian, but they're open to it, or they grew up in that faith. And they don't necessarily want all the new age spirituality. They want the kind of spirituality that they are comfortable with and used to. That's another thing that sets us apart. And life coaching is all about mindset and how to have healthy relationships with yourself, with others, Of course, also, with food and your body and lifestyle. Holistic life coaching encompasses all of that. And it's a very important part of holistic health and healing, especially because stress is often the root cause of many illnesses, common illnesses, and also chronic diseases. So, that mind and spirit aspect is very important. And the third aspect is online business marketing. And again, the reason why that's important is because, as I told you, I really want my students to thrive and to be able to, have that time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, which which an online business provides. But also because, there's not a lot of jobs for herbalists, or life coaches even. And so we really have to be entrepreneurial. And it's very, very rewarding. And because of my background, with my digital marketing business, my first business, I can really help people in that department.
Thanks so much, Mayim. So I love the power of testimony and hearing people's personal experiences or journeys. Can you share some of the success stories that might be coming to mind or testimonials from past students?
Yes, we certainly have a lot of success stories and testimonials, and we'll show some of those testimonials at the end of our talk today in this video. But I could talk about a few of them that are maybe recent. One of them is one of my students. She told me that she wanted to become a nutritionist, but I guess her life's journey didn't really allow for that. So when she heard about my program, my certification program, when it first launched, she joined, and she really wanted to help her husband, who had been suffering from colitis under the care of doctors for about 20 years, ever since he was in the military. And he was going from medication to medication and, suffering with diarrhea and insomnia and restless legs and indigestion and, all these terrible things that colitis can cause. And so I actually created a custom module for her to help her husband with that. And in 2 months, she helped her husband get off the medication and heal from colitis using food and herbs and natural holistic healing methods. So that was a great accomplishment for her. And, I get people, contacting me saying that I helped them grow their hair back, or actually someone said, "Oh, you helped save, you helped save a little girl's life," just beautiful, wonderful things like that. You helped me heal my daughter, you helped me grow, regrow my teeth so I don't have pain from cavities anymore, like just all these wonderful testimonies. And that's the reason why I love doing what I do. And and you will too, if you join the program. It's so rewarding and fulfilling to understand and to know that you are helping people, truly helping people in ways that they can't get in the modern medical system. It's so rewarding.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mayim. I can only imagine the sense of reward when people start applying these principles to their lives and actually see a change and transformation. And for somebody as passionate as you are around this topic, to witness that and to be a part of that, I imagine that the reward is priceless. So another common question that arises is, once someone completes the program, what are some of the practical steps one would take in order to start a successful career in holistic health?
Okay, that's a great question. And that's actually what the third pillar of our program is all about is, what do you do? Practical steps and what you would do to start a successful career in holistic health. And in that program, we teach our students how to create a high ticket, transformational health coaching program that really helps people deal with a serious a problem, a serious health issue. And that doesn't mean that it's a deadly, problem, but it can be something that really affects their life, right? Even skin disorders can really affect your life, right? Even though it's not necessarily deadly. Weight loss could be something that is dealing with a serious issue. There's so many different types of health coaching programs that one can make, anxiety, depression, hormonal issues, etc. So they build, it's part of the program. They will do this while they're still in the program, and we'll support them the whole way. Is to build that first high ticket health coaching program, and then set up their online assets, such as their website, their social media, a video sales letter, press releases, podcasts, all those things that online entrepreneurs need in order to connect with people, get their message of health and healing out there, and build and grow and scale their business.
Thank you so much, Mayim. It's been so great talking with you today. But before we close, for those that would like to get started on the journey to becoming an holistic healer and wanting to learn a little bit more about the certification program, how do they go about contacting you?
Yes, it's been wonderful talking to you today as well. And for all those who would like to get started on their journey to become a holistic healer and learn more about the certification program, all they need to do is visit the website, www.arukah.com, ARUKAH.com, and dig into that and schedule a discovery call. And I would love to be your mentor, your health coach, your teacher in guiding you to become a holistic healer, to become the healer of your home and your family and your community, and to help you build a profitable online health coaching business.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mayim. So there we have it, folks. If you are ready to move forward in your own journey of becoming a holistic healer, then you can visit the website at www.arukah.com, where you can schedule your first discovery call. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.